Don't do that. What is it doing? What is this?
This video is sponsored by Blinkist. You might have seen these viral videos that show lip gloss behaving in a strange way. They first appeared on TikTok, which is a clock app, I think. And I wanted to see if I could reproduce the effect and explain why it happens. I think I've achieved both. So to start with, I bought a whole load of lip gloss. To begin with, I just tried to copy the behavior that I saw in the videos, which seems to be, pull it out quickly, like that. And what that does is leave a little sort of traily bit coming out, and then you turn it upside down, and that traily bit grows and grows and grows until it flies off. Some people were sort of zhuzhing it a bit first. I just couldn't get it to work. And that makes sense, really, because if it was that easy to reproduce, we'd all know about it and it wouldn't be a surprise. There must be other conditions that you need to meet. So this is when I start to hypothesize about the cause. So my feeling is that it's static electricity. So, if you put your hands on a Van de Graaff generator, your hair stands on end. That's because like charges repel. So when you put your hands on a Van de Graaff generator, it's pumping charge into your body or onto your body and onto the surface of your hair. Because like charges repel, your hairs are repelling each other, and in doing so they stand up on end to get as far away from each other as they can. And a similar thing is happening probably, in my opinion, with the lip gloss. So you have that small strand of lip gloss, it's negatively charged, so it's trying to get away from itself, it's trying to get away from the rest of the wand, it elongates, it stretches, and eventually a bit of it flies off. But why would the lip gloss be statically charged in the first place? My theory is that the people holding the lip gloss are statically charged, and they're passing some of that static charge onto the lip gloss. You've probably experienced being statically charged, like if you touch a metal door handle and you get an electric shock, that's because prior to touching the door handle, you were statically charged, probably because you were shuffling around on a carpet, and in doing so you were kind of scraping electrons off the carpet and storing them on your body. And it was only when you touched a conductor, like a metal door handle, that it was conducted away and you felt it as a shock. Except that I tried this. I've been shuffling around on a carpet for hours and I couldn't get the effect to appear. My wife suggested that maybe it's to do with bringing the lip gloss into contact with your skin, specifically your lips. That didn't work either, so I had to bring out the big guns. I'm on my way to the Royal Institution, the spiritual home of science outreach in the UK. Imagine over 100 years ago, Michael Faraday wowing the general public with his experiments. I know a great science outreach person called Fran Scott who keeps her Van de Graaff generator there, and the word on the Slack group is that her Van de Graaff generator is better than anyone else's. So I've got the lip gloss, here you go, in my hand. I'm going to charge myself up. I'm standing on this foam block to separate myself from the ground. I hate static shocks, by the way, so this is a deeply unpleasant experience for me. Quite close to a radiator there, which is making me nervous as well. Oh God! It makes noises in the air, and it's like I can feel it on my head. Oh, I hate it. It's so grim. I feel really charged up, but not in a good way, not in a metaphorical way. Right. That is a no. Ah! So I've cut the handle off this one because there's a sort of a hole in the top of the Van de Graaff generator, and I should be able to fit this in and see if we can do it directly. That's not bad. I feel like we're starting to validate my hypothesis that it's an electrostatic phenomenon. And it is phenomenon, by the way, not phenomena. I got that wrong in my previous video and some people let me know. Thanks, pedants. You're doing important work. I'm not even being sarcastic. It is important. Pedants are important. You don't have to like them, but they're important. The people in the original video probably didn't have access to a Van de Graaff generator, so there's something else. We need to fill in that part of the story. And also, the little strands that I was getting were quite thin and pathetic compared to the viral videos, so I wanted to see if I can improve on that. And then I remembered I already have a handheld battery-powered Van de Graaff generator. It's called a Fun Fly stick, and you use it to levitate tinsel. You press this button here and you touch the tinsel on the cardboard tube, and the cardboard tube transfers charge to the tinsel. They all repel each other and it floats around. Great. I tried just kind of pressing the button and rubbing the lip gloss applicator wand on the cardboard tube. That didn't work either. And then I had the idea, look, if you take it apart, you can see there's the electrode. So maybe if I use crocodile clips to transfer that electrode so that it's directly on top of the end of the applicator wand. Look at that. So look, if you've got a little bit of lip gloss that's already sticking out slightly, perhaps because of the way you drew it from the container, then it turns out charge will actually preferentially gather around that sticky out bit. That's because you get more charge density around curved surfaces than around flat surfaces. That's for complicated reasons that I don't want to go into in this video, but what it means is you end up with a sort of positive feedback loop. Because you've got more charge on the slightly sticky out bit, that slightly sticky out bit is trying to get away from itself. And so it starts to stretch. And as it stretches, it becomes even more tightly curved. And so you get even more charge density and it stretches even more until eventually bits of it start flying off. So why does it happen with lip gloss and not eyeliner or other products? Well, lip gloss is made of oils and waxes, and they're insulators. And if you want static charge to gather on a surface, then the surface needs to be an insulator. If it was a conductor, then it would conduct the charge away. So in terms of like the ingredients of lip gloss, it makes sense that that would be the place that you see the phenomenon. But so far I haven't been able to reproduce the effect organically, let's say, just by using it and moving around. My feeling is still that the people holding the lip gloss are statically charged themselves. It didn't work for me, perhaps because it takes time for the static charge on the person to propagate into the applicator wand of the lip gloss. Or maybe it needs to be warmer for it to work under those circumstances to make it less viscous. So maybe I needed to hold onto it for longer or have it in my pocket for longer. I might keep experimenting, but at this point I'm pretty satisfied that it's an electrostatic phenomenon, and I'm really happy with the footage that I got on my macro lens. I don't get much time for reading these days. The time that I do get is really precious. I get a little bit at the end of the day, and I worry about what am I going to commit that precious time to. I end up spending ages trying to figure out what to read. In the end, I just give up a lot of the time and I just scroll through Reddit until it's time to go to sleep. And I want to tell you how the sponsor of this video is helping me with that. So it's Blinkist. Blinkist does this remarkable thing. They take the key insights from non-fiction titles and condense it down to a 15-minute read. It's also audio narrated, so you can listen to it as well. That works in two ways for me. For certain titles, the 15 minutes is all I want. I just want those key insights and that's it. And it's an amazing way to get those. For other titles like Sapiens, for example, this book here, I was thinking about reading that for a long time, but worrying about, should I commit my precious reading time to this title? Well, I read the 15-minute summary on Blinkist and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to read the whole thing. This is awesome. So those are the two ways that I use it. Because they're sponsoring this video, the first 100 people to go to blinkist.com/Steve Mould, the link is also in the description there, they'll get 7 days completely free, full access, no strings attached. You can cancel anytime you like. And if you do decide to carry on, then you get 25% off using that link. So I would recommend Sapiens. Even the 15-minute version is like a great summary of the history of humans. And Thinking Fast and Slow, a really interesting look from an economist point of view about how we make decisions. Really interesting. So yeah, check it out today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.